Yeah. Oh, I got the lady there with 10 minutes to spare. I am meant to drive happily and calmly. I am really not meant for these stressful step on it type situations. But I understand it's part of being a Lyft driver. But boy, you're like, I need some relaxation recovery time. I don't really do well with this driving fast, stressful stuff. I'm definitely an old dead thing, man. Ready to retire out and drive real slow or take my time in pretty much every situation. Oh, man. But, yeah, Jesus didn't do it either. So if I could stomach not doing it either, I wasn't gonna. Um, the big thing about God and Jesus is that God the Father is one of the biggest God level giants of love. So, and I've said it before, but like, it's fun to reminisce about all the time because it's a pretty big thing that Jesus was murdered and didn't want the whole world to die. So Jesus, and this was big court cases, monumental, massive, big court cases back then, that Jesus went to the courts of the gods and said, I don't want the whole planet to die because I was murdered. I really want the people that were good enough, good people, to be just fine. I went down to planet Earth so people could get to heaven because they could not get to heaven anymore because of Adam and Eve's horrifying decision. And I just wanted them to get to heaven. I know I've died, but I really think only the people that would have or could have murdered me should be the worst ones. The ones who participated or contributed, the things that should be dealt with, but I'd like to be a dead Jesus giant that says, if they're truly really good people that tried real hard to be good people, I would want to still hope they make it to heaven. And it was a big moment, and God's talked about it for years and years and years, because he legally could have said, I hate this planet. I came down as the beautiful, precious Jesus just to bring some people to heaven because nobody could get to heaven, and they killed me. I hate this planet. I don't even care if anybody gets to heaven anymore. And he would have had that legal right forever, but he didn't. He wanted to choose love with his Father, God the Father. So in their honor, I thought, if I can swing it, I will do it. But legally, in the law, in the reality of just basic law, if you did not join with the gods the whole time, that you'd never want Jesus to get murdered or hurt. You just want the love and worship and spoiling of Jesus for good answers and good endings and good possibilities for yourself. And you know that what you do unto Jesus will be done unto you. So you want only beautiful, amazing, good things done towards Jesus, so that only good, beautiful, amazing, wonderful things could be done for you. Like, unless you did that all along, he had the right legally to kill everybody. So really, from the moment Jesus arrived on earth, and the gods always announced when Jesus was on earth throughout Jesus's time on earth, the way they've announced the whole time I was down here, and I've announced the whole time I was down here. What they were supposed to do by law was, when Jesus arrived on earth, every year more or less, every day more or less, just kind of give the gods the feedback that I don't want anything but good realities towards Jesus. And of course, barely any to none ever do it. So barely any to none really sit and think about prayer or petition or nothing bad against Jesus, only good towards Jesus. enough constantly that they'd have the legal right in and of themselves to live with a little bit of help from Jesus' time on earth. Nobody legally would ever make it anywhere. Not really. So, yeah. Most people didn't even care that I was murdered or that I even existed or that I was even here. Most people easily laugh, join in anything, and it's real scary, dangerous, bad things. So as I, flopped my death toll onto the courts of God, I put in the best I could for people that actually are the biggest, best, worthy, or the most hardworking, good. I wanted people to be really acknowledged if they work real hard to be amazing, morally. And then, whatever it could be hoped for. Because, you have to put your death at the throne of these gods for one issue. Then you have to put your death at the courts of gods for a different issue. You have to do all this big, fancy, structured stuff. And then you get to relax with your crown and your title and be the big, fancy, whoever you are and stuff. And then it all plays out. So that's the fun part. The really, really, really fun part is once you go through it all, it's done. And you can kind of just watch everything play out. So it's not really that bad. And that's, it's worth fighting to build and build and build in courts and more, so it'll just play out and be done. And then see, if one thing doesn't get them, everything gets them. So the ones that are actually murdering and breaking brains and need to be addressed on overload right away, they get attacked by every direction. Plus just attacking them in general to be free. And at some point it gets pretty nice and pretty comfy. Which Jesus got to go home to God the Father. And when Jesus went home to God the Father, God the Father just did most of the fighting, did most of the work. And the rest of it the gods did. But I'm an old lady, so I gotta do my own work. Gotta get on my own 2 feet and jump up with all the gods and get this finished.